nice and husky today, so please forgive me, because I'm not very Sailor Moon-y. Husky girl.
Why is that, Linda?
Because I had a little bit too much juice.
Oh!
We should introduce ourselves, because people don't know who we are. Checkity check.
All right, let's introduce ourselves.
Yeah, hi. I'm Toby Proctor, and I play the voice of Tuxedo Mask.
And I'm Katie Griffin, and I played Sailor Mars. And I'm Susan Roman, and I played Sailor Jupiter.
And I'm Linda Valentine, and I was Sailor Moon.
This is the first time we've done a panel in an IMAX theater. So
Yeah.
kind of cool. I took lots of pictures to take them home so people would believe that I'm really cool.
So this is what we do. We come to these things, and then we realize very quickly that you guys have been wondering for probably 20-something years. You've got all these questions that are brewing up inside you, and we have all the answers. If we don't have the answers, we'll make them up on the spot. So what we do is we kind of just open the floor to you guys, and if you've got a question, throw your hand up, I guess, or you guys don't have a microphone for that. Right? Oh, look what just happened.
They're getting a microphone.
Wow. Magic. Perfect. It may be hard to get in and out of seats, though. No, well, they can figure it out. This is very steep.
Check. What we're going to do is we're going to put a microphone right here, guys. If you want to ask a question, you can line up and do the stairs. This is how we're doing it all weekend. So we make sure everybody gets a chance to ask a question.
So smart.
Yeah, we try. We do ask that you keep it to one question each, just so we make sure everybody has time, and then we can come back around. You guys have additional questions.
I just want to see how the fangirl thing is going here, so I'm just going to pick out somebody, maybe, I don't know, Wally? Yeah, how you doing there? Are you squealy? Are you squealy today? Are you fangirling right now? Not a girl.
Now you got a shout out.
So nobody's got any questions?
No,
All right.
The one gentleman over here. Here we go. Come on, guys. Don't be bashful.
Are you kidding?
There we go.
Fortune favors the bold people. Don't sit there forever.
Look, she's
I can't. I had nothing. I'm just like. I had like a million, and now I'm like.
So is everyone having a good time? It's almost over. We only have a couple more hours left.
Downer juice.
a lot of long hours left, of course.
What a meatball head.
Did you just call her a meatball head?
Serena, I'm just tired.
Oh my God! I'm the meat. Wait a minute, are you calling me? What do you mean to do?
You're totally a meatball.
You guys, you just gotta stop. It's crazy.
Girls, you're all beautiful.
So, are you gonna go first, the gentleman in the blue shirt? I have to tell you this. You kind of remind me of my old boyfriend. Doesn't he? Go ahead.
Hello. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks. I was wondering, when in the American version of the show, when Sailor Uranus and Neptune were changed from being in a couple to being cousins, if that was upsetting or difficult for you.
I'll tell you. Me, not being the sharpest tool in the shed, was a little bit confused watching the show. Because we never got scripts. When we did the show, we weren't given scripts at all. So we would get into a room, and we were watching it just like you guys were for the first time. We've got the thing right in front of us, a big screen, and then above it are our words that we're going to say, kind of like karaoke. And we're just sitting there saying the words, and da-da-da-da-da. And every time Uranus and Neptune would come on, and their little faces would come together, and all the little hearts would go,
Nice.
and it was all romantic and lovely. I'd be like, they're cousins? Yes, Linda, they're cousins. Okay, they're cousins. Okay, all right. And then I record, and I go, are you they're cousins? For like more than one episode I did this for. Until they went, okay, Linda. Originally, they were lesbians. Oh, I thought so.
So I'm happy that now they've changed it so that they've made it accurate. I understand censorship, and especially back in the 90s, the early 90s when we did this, there was all kinds of censorship silliness going on. So I'm happy that they've rectified it.
And the censorship silliness that Katie's talking about is if a character was seen riding a bike without a helmet on, they edited that out. I'm not kidding.
No, they had to,
They
otherwise it
literally did.
It couldn't go on the air.
Yeah. So if a character was seen holding a gun, they had to edit it out. So they just said, no, you're not going to be doing that too. No. So and it is now being done properly, and I'm so happy, and I wish that they had done it properly back in the day. I really do, because that would have made it even more,
Well, you guys know, you know the Sailor Moon says, right? Yeah, that was actually created because of all the edits that had to happen. They were down on network time, so they had to create something that would be able to give the show its correct time, but also basically filler in a way. But I actually ended up liking the Sailor Moon show. I thought it was kind of a cool thing. It was it was like the knowing is half the battle kind of deal, but in a Sailor Moon way.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Richard.
Hello, Richard. Hi, Richard.
How's it going? I'm hungover. What's a good remedy? No, I'm kidding. That's not really my question. Because people always ask you, what's your favorite episode, favorite moment? But what's your least favorite episode or least favorite moment recording or such or whatever you guys have in mind?
Wow, that's a good one.
Yeah, right.
Least favorite. Wow. I actually know I don't know if it was my least favorite recording because I didn't record it, but I'm actually a singer. So there was an episode where Ray is singing and she's doing this big concert and this beautiful song that, by the way, I sound exactly like whoever it was, but they didn't, they already had it in place, I guess. But I thought, oh, that's too bad. That's weird because I sing. You want me to just re-sing it? No, Katie, we're good. We don't need you to re-sing anything. So I think that was sort of, otherwise,
A bummer.
yeah, it's a bummer.
For me, I think it would be like the first few episodes that I did, believe it or not. Because I was the third Sailor Moon, and suddenly I had this insane task of taking on already a huge iconic character. And I was going, hey, this is going to be great. And then right away I went, oh God, what have I done? Oh my God. I grew up watching the Flintstones. Barney Rubble had two different voices. There was Barney, and then there was the irritating Barney. And I was like, oh God, it's irritating Barney. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be the irritating Sailor Moon. Oh no, what am I doing? And originally they wanted me, they kept saying younger, higher, higher. So it just kept going, woo, 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 woo. Like everything she was doing was like, I sound like a poodle that's being beaten. I was so frustrated. I was just like, I hate this character. I hate the way this character's going. And it was really, really frustrating to me. So it took me a few episodes to really get in there and go, whoa. This is not how this character's going to sound anymore. And that's when I started making it my own. But it took me a little bit, I'll tell you that. And I had to beat them down a little bit too.
I think that one of the, in terms of least favorite, I think has to be when we first started, because we were very unaccustomed to working with this thing called the Rhythmo Band, which is how we ended up dubbing it, because it's not the normal dubbing situation, certainly that the way it exists now. As Linda was saying, it's very much like karaoke, and the words are going across, you see the action on the screen, and then underneath the action, you've got all the different characters, and their lines are going across the screen, and you're looking for your character. And you forget, what was my character again? Oh yeah, that's me. And you see it moving, and you know that as these words are going across the screen, as soon as it hits the slash on the far left corner, that it's time for you to speak. And all these names and these words, and you see that you have to say something like, oh, hi, how are you doing? And it's all truncated because you're trying to get each word to hit the slash. And so people often talk about, your performance or how you prepared for this character. How I prepared for this character was I prayed that I could get the words in on time. That's how I prepared. I mean, there was no time because there it is. You read it and hope for the best. So at the beginning, I remember thinking, I don't know if I can do this. This is really hard.
And it was fast, too.
Fast. It's going. And then sometimes there'd be a scream, and you would say, Lita, in brackets, scream. And so I know that I have to start screaming when the line hits the slash. And then it would be, and it would go on for like 5 minutes, and I would have no air left. And I'd say, what am I screaming about? Oh, it's a happy scream? Oh, dear. So I'd have to do it again, because I wouldn't know what kind of scream it was. So it was hard at the beginning, and it got easier.
And the words were also handwritten.
Yes.
Yeah. So you got to read
Nice
some
handwriting.
chicken scratch handwriting. You're like, what is that? You spelled that wrong.
I guess that's it.
Thank you.
Oh, is he here?
I'm awake. Actually, the hardest thing for me with Sailor Moon at all was actually after the second season, we were ready to go back for the third season, and I was asked to be a part of Police Academy, the series, filmed in Vancouver for Warner Brothers, and it was in 2 different cities, and they couldn't make my schedule work because dubbing is not something, sometimes you can do voice work over the phone, like they can do a phone patch, or you can do it anywhere in the world, but unfortunately because it was dubbing, I wasn't able to continue, and it really sucked because I loved Tuxedo Mask so much, and it was already like a thing, and so this Warner Brothers show was asking me to be, out there for 11 months shooting for Police Academy, and I couldn't make both work, so it was a really tough decision. Ultimately, I chose the wrong one. I went to Police Academy. It was a lot of fun. I will never take that away from myself, but I wish I could have continued throughout the entire series, because it was hard to leave Tuxedo Mask and let somebody else do it. Although Vince Cross is a great guy, he's a friend of ours, but I didn't want to leave him, because he's tall, dark, and handsome.
He's not tall.
Just like you, Toby.
Thank you, Katie. $5.
Oh, I thought you were talking about this. Your question?
Hi, I'm Jared, and I am the Tuxedo Master of my relationship because I am both handsome but completely useless.
I love that. Yeah, you know what? I agree with you in some ways. I've come to realize that Tuxedo Mask in people form is the hang in there kitty poster. You know.
But my question is, did you ever read ahead in the Sailor Moon manga and to see what would go on? And
We didn't even know the manga existed. We didn't. In fact, I believe the first time was that Susan and I did a convention, our very first convention, 7 years ago, I think, in Vancouver. And then that was the very first time we had ever heard about the manga. And so we didn't even know any of that existed, and we didn't even know about the sentence. We honestly just went to work, and the words would be there. We had no idea, and we would talk, and we would be.
We had no idea.
Here's the other Mars. Okay.
Well, we had no idea that we did movies too.
Yeah.
Like we do this thing. So, you just recorded a movie. I did. Well, that's pretty cool. I guess I'll go and have myself a coffee because I just did a movie. But yeah, they never told us.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, man.
Hi, I'm Nancy. What's it like to work in an anime studio?
That's a good question. That's a great question. Well, see, for a lot, in the olden days, before shows like Sailor Moon came along, we did a lot of, it's called original animation in Toronto, which is where we're all from. We're all Canadian, did you know that?
Oh no.
Howdy, put a steak on the Barbie. Oh, get out. Eh? You all look really good, eh? We're gonna catch the plane home, eh? And it's gonna be great. So, when you do original animation, there is no screen to look at because the animators are actually animating to your voice and to your performance. So it's a very, very different kettle of fish.
So the first thing that happens is your voice is recorded, and then they draw the pictures.
And they draw the picture. Really, so if your voice has a little squeak in it, when they're drawing the character, they can make the little, maybe your eyebrow go up or something when you go, hi, they can make the eyebrow go. I mean, it's very, very personalized. And you get a really big involvement with the character. But when you're doing, as you say, an anime studio, all of the anime, well, nowadays, what is it, 90% is coming in from Japan? Is there any, there's not very much original anime being done here?
Anime is from Japan.
No, but I mean, there's some being produced
You're talking
here.
dubbing.
No, original anime cartooning done here.
Like Avatar.
Yeah, but that's, Okay.
I'm gonna be a little slower today.
I'll explain it to her.
I smell cat, fight.
So this is all by way of saying, I'm just boring myself. This is just my way of saying it is very, very different. And as I brought up before, as a skill set, dubbing is so underrated. It's very, very difficult to do well. It really is.
And I remember too, being in the studio when I was doing it, they had a bar that they put across. A bar, almost like a dance bar in a way, although it was not strong enough to dance on, because I knocked it over many times. And it was so that you wouldn't get too close to the microphone. Normally when you're doing it, you know, you're going to be about this close to the microphone, but for Sailor Moon, the microphone was a lot further away, because we were doing so much screaming, and the characters were just constantly like, going crazy. So they had this bar and you weren't allowed to pass it. And I remember always holding onto the bar and just being like, and then, you know, I'd sort of get it closer and closer to the microphone, closer and closer, and they're like, Linda, move back.
And then after she was done, they'd put her back in her cage.
Yeah.
That's Peter. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Cassandra. Did you ever receive much criticism for the original TV dub? Like, there's a lot about, you know, the name changes, the censorship, the voices. Sometimes they complain about the voices too, or they don't match up, or you know, they sound too old, or what have you. Do you receive much of that, or what do you think of it?
No, I never had any
We never
criticism
received that
whatsoever.
because we had no control over it. So, I mean, obviously people are going to have their favorite characters, and sometimes people don't like Ray.
I don't know why.
I can take it.
You know, I have had criticism like for like the original dub, just saying because of the year and how kind of raw it was, but obviously it did something right because we all wouldn't be sitting here. And you know, we're very lucky.
And the other thing was, back in the day, there wasn't the internet. There literally wasn't. So, like nowadays, if you did it right now, with me taking over, oh my God, thank God there was no internet back then. I would have been destroyed. However, there wasn't an internet back then, and then people could get used to me, and then they were nice.
Exactly, they're just spending times on their coconut bicycles. I imagine
Thank
that's
you,
what I was
Gilligan.
doing. I can't remember. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, so
My neat helmet.
we don't even know if we've answered questions anymore.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mike. As much as we all love everything that you guys have passed, what are you guys doing nowadays?
Yeah, good question. Actually, I clean a pretty mean toilet. And, I'm just kidding. No, actually, no. Just, you know, auditioning for the best thing that's going to come along since sliced bread and hoping that there'll be another Sailor Moon in the future. That's what I'm doing.
Got a lot of Ford and stuff like that commercials.
Oh, no, yeah, but in terms of animation. And I'm thinking very strongly of writing my own project. I think it's about time. But for a second now, when I was doing that, I felt like Hillary Clinton. I don't know why. I think it's a good... Listen, we are so not political, and we're not going to talk about American politics because we're Canadian and we watch it all the time, and we wonder what the heck's going on here, but, you know,
I've got, right now, I think it's just come out, is George of the Jungle. It's on there right now, yeah, on Magnolia and that, crazy.
How does she sound?
Oh God, see? With the voice like this?
Oh, sorry.
I can't even think what she sounds like. George?
Go back in time.
I can't even remember. Don't make me do this. Also, Kid plus Cat, lots of different things. I just did an Inspector Gadget the other day. Oh, Inspector Gadget, you say, says Katie?
Oh, well, I happen to be on Inspector Gadget. So right now, the new CGI version, I play Kayla. And then I'm working on Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. They're doing a series, and I'm playing Saint Sparks. That comes out next year. We're already starting season 2, even though it hasn't aired season 1 yet. But, you know, we're starting season 2 soon. So hopefully people will watch it and find it funny. The movies were funny.
Yeah.
I just finished a while back a show with for Hallmark with Jessica Lowndes from 90210. We did a Christmas movie for Hallmark, and I've been doing a lot of commercials lately. I did a thing on Heroes Reborn and the series Rain, and yeah, currently looking into making a sandwich later.
And Toby, when will the Christmas movie for Hallmark be out?
I think it's already been out, but it can
Christmas?
be seen.
Oh, that was a trick question.
So what color is your white horse?
Thank you, and
Thank
good luck
you.
on the sandwich.
Thank you so much.
Hi, my name's Charles, and well, I loved Ray. She was my favorite. So.
So clearly you're not right in the head then. But continue, please.
No, but well, since you didn't know much about Sailor Moon before going in, did doing it and learning and seeing how people reacted to it, did it make you want to like learn more, read the manga, see the old show, or maybe even watch the new Viz dub or the Crystal?
Well, we can't see it in Canada. We don't have, yeah, so we have no. I know, it's crazy, but.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
They actually blocked the
But right now
content.
it's baseball season, so all bets are off for me. Game of Thrones
But
and
they do
baseball
block it
season,
actually, too, believe it or not, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like North Korea.
Oh my god.
But we have lots of Dennis Rodman, which is strange.
But after doing it, I feel like we all settled into our characters, because at first it was just Fast and Furious, we had no idea what was happening. But yeah, I think because there was such an extensive backstory for everything, I think we all sort of really embraced our characters, and we're very similar to our characters, and yeah, I don't know how that happened, but it really did, it did. Susan,
it's astonishing. There's a photograph of Katie and me at the, very often we worked by ourselves, but this particular day she and I were working together, and right in the middle of this, or towards the beginning of the series, and Katie at that point had this very, very long hair that down to her waist, dark hair, and I had brown hair that went up into a ponytail, and I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, oh my God, did I do that on purpose?
Oh my God.
I just put my hair in a ponytail, and the only difference is that I'm just, a tiny bit shorter than Sailor Jupiter, 5 3/4, but you know what I'm saying? But I think tall. I have a tall brain, so it was okay. But I looked at this shot of us, and I said, I know what she did, the producer. She cast people who automatically fit at least the physical requirements of each character, and hoped that everything else that went along with the physical requirements. So the feistiness of Jupiter, the sassiness of Mars, all of that would already be there, because there was no time to sort of work on making it happen, that it would just be there. And I think it was brilliant. When I look at the casting, forget me, but I look at the casting of everyone and I think, this was actually really, really well done. I think that the people who played each and every scout did it essentially, sorry, I'm not allowed to use the old-fashioned words, am I? They absolutely were perfect in their casting.
The only ones that never looked like their character were Sailor Moon. None of the Sailor Moons looked like Sailor Moon.
That's true.
Except my rockin' hot body.
Well, and actually, Tuxedo Mask had a nice Kawasaki Ninja, and I was riding one when I auditioned for it. Oh, it was kind of cool. I was like, hey, we have the same bike. That's pretty cool.
and I was training martial arts, so it's like, and they couldn't have known that. There's no way they could have known that.
And I like roses and long walks to the beach.
And really fun, fancy hats.
Yeah, holistically tipped shrubbery.
Thank you.
Somewhere in there's an answer.
Hi, I'm Brittany. You were talking about wanting to do the next new upcoming series or whatever. Sailor Moon Crystal has just recently come out, and do you guys plan on auditioning for your old parts?
It's already been cast. They're actually using the same cast as the redub. It's going, baby. But the thing is, we're in Canada, and it's a whole different union, so we can't come down and work
So it's like, okay, it's going to the States. Okay. Yeah, that's okay. We did the original. Try and take that away from us. Sailor Moon Crystal isn't that good anyway.
Sorry, can you say that into the mic one more time?
I heard it was like really rushed, and it's like bam, bam, bam. It's like there's no backstory in that.
Episode missing.
There's such a huge fight going on here.
And the thing is, as I say, none of us, maybe it's been a blessing, but when we go, and I know it's on Hulu, so we go to hulu.com if you're in Canada, and the screen is just gray, and it says, sorry, you're not allowed to access this website. It makes us feel very sad.
It actually says, sorry, you're Canadian.
And then it says, wait a second, I think you were the original Sailor Mars. Forget it. Done.
Thanks a lot.
Again, I'm CJ, and I have more of a request than a question. I was wondering if you could do in your voices your transformation sequences.
Oh! Oh, don't worry, he knows. He knows. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, to be honest with you. It's going to be pretty scratchy.
That's okay. That's okay.
Linda will go first, and then
Oh, I will.
Susan.
The new Sailor Moon director, everyone.
Director in the house, and she's female. I love it. Okay. Ready? Moon cosmic power! Jupiter, thunder, crash! Thank you. Hey, are you okay? Mars fire ignite!
And if I had a rose, I'd do this. Well, I'll say something. Hey, Meatballhead, what are you doing here? I thought for sure you'd be over there with your friends, especially since you're acting like total fools.
I'm Mary. I'm sure you know that already. I'm bugging you enough this weekend. I was just curious that, like, I came with all of my steps yesterday. So how does that make you feel knowing that in reality you really are, like, girls' heroes? You all grew up loving you and looking up to you, and you changed a lot of people's lives. I told Lynn and Susan my story, so I was just curious how that makes you feel.
If you knew how many times in a convention we bawl our eyes out, you have no idea. Like, seriously, we have so many fans that come over to us crying, and then we're like, Katie is like, don't even do it, you're gonna make me start. And then she starts, and then I start, and then we feel like idiots. No, we don't, we love it, we don't care. It's pretty amazing, it's very, very humbling, and we literally went in and did a voiceover, 20 years ago. And we had no idea the impact that it was going to have. None. And we didn't understand the impact it had until only a few years ago when we started going to conventions. And the conventions to us, the reason we go there is because it's like a gift to us. Like, we sit there going, we had no idea. And all these people are reaching out going, and we're going, oh my God, this is like amazing.
Because it'll never happen. None of the other shows we work on, it doesn't even matter. It'll never be Sailor Moon. Ever. Like the fans, we've been all over the world. We've been to Australia, we've been to Malta, we've been everywhere. And the reaction is always the same. They really are, Sailor Moon fans are the best fans in the entire universe.
But also don't forget, there are also guys' heroes too. But I will say, it was definitely... Are you still here? I have a flight to catch with her.
I can't deny that because there are plenty of guys that wish they could be you. They look up to you.
Me too. We have a lot of guys coming over saying,
boyfriend standards. You.
Oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Check the ego at the door.
I think for me, one of the, just as Linda said, what we do, when you're an actor and you get to work, every single moment is a blessing, and you love it. I know that every single one of us put our best foot forward when we were recording Sailor Moon. We tried our best because that's what we do, because we're actors. And it's a really good cast, and then it did well. But we did not understand for 1 second, and I don't even think the rest of the cast who haven't come out on these tours with us understand the impact that it's had. And I was just thinking, today I had a couple of very sad interactions, and I thought, and there were like 3 in a row, and I thought, oh gosh, I don't know, I'm gonna get so emotional, I don't know if I can absorb this anymore, because it humbles me to think that because I tried my best to do my job, and also to be as artistic as I could, that all these many years later, someone actually says, it was your voice that kept me going. Can you imagine how that feels? It's unbelievable. So I feel so blessed to be able to come and see all of you, because I'm getting to see the inside workings of a culture, and it's called North America. And I'm really, really honored that I'm able to do that.
That
So
includes
thank you.
Canada.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hello, I'm Frank. I want to know where are the other scouts today?
Yeah, I'll tell you where Emily is. So Emily Claire Barlow played, she was the second Sailor Venus, but she was also Sailor Mars for 10 episodes, which is hilarious, but she's a good friend of mine as well. But she is an incredible jazz singer, and she's killing it. She's winning all kinds of awards everywhere. So I believe it's the Montreal Jazz, no, not yet. She's somewhere singing. She's somewhere on tour.
Emily and I went to high school.
Oh.
Did you make out with her?
No.
No. It's really funny. But anyway, so that's where Sailor Venus is.